New York Rangers greats Phil Esposito, Dave Maloney, and others prance around the garden ice in tight pants during the Ooh La La Sasson ad campaign.
There's some things that are just, you know, they are of a certain era, and that was just of that era.
The Rangers became the it thing in the city when they went to the '79 Stanley Cup Finals against the Montreal Canadiens. Well, shortly after that '79 final, the Rangers were involved in a charity deal that made a 45 RPM record called the Hockey Sock Rock. Now, this was the time of disco. Everybody had the long hair.
You leave those guys alone, okay? Long hair don't care.
The Rangers were at an all-time high in popularity, and they were the it thing. So what happens? Well, shortly thereafter, within a couple of years, they're still riding the wave of Espo and all of these guys. They wind up doing the Ooh La La Sasson jeans commercials. This was all built out of the popularity of that team at that time. It was a horrible, dreadful commercial. They couldn't sing, which we already knew based on the 45 that they had put out. And God only knows how horrible they looked in those pants. But what are you going to do? They were told to do it, and they did it. And it was certainly a very, very big time in Rangers history.
That was one of the greatest commercials of all time. I still have my Vidal Sassoons when I go out. Ron Duguay, with his head, still has it like in his 70s. He could probably still rock those jeans.
It's something that I don't know we'll ever see again. It was just one of those bizarre moments, like Joe Namath wearing pantyhose. There's Phil Esposito wearing designer jeans. One of those things.
And it was great. I mean, listen, any chance you get to make another buck, any way you could do it, no problem. They were ahead of their time.
Should hockey players model designer jeans? They're in sports. They're making hay while the sun shines. They make a few dollars. I'm sure they had fun. And you know what? If people thought it was a little weird, that's great, because that brings more attention to it.
The Rangers had some guys on that team that just embraced it and embraced the whole Broadway mentality.
Everybody was trying to be fashionable and trying to be in.
You know, Duguay, I mean, that was him. And, you know, he went on to marry a supermodel. And, you know, these guys come to New York and they have a cachet. And they're sitting there at the Garden and close to Broadway. And those guys fit that model. You know, Ron Duguay brought that type of Clyde Frazier, you know, style to hockey and to the Rangers.
You know, you had the Rangers, you know, the pretty boy image of Ron Duguay, who, by the way, his hair is just unbelievably great today. It's just like it was back then. I don't know how he does it.
It's perfectly fine with me. And if it made the fans crazy, that's great. They're fans. By definition, they want to be crazy.
These guys are skating around doing Sasson commercials, and the Islanders are winning Stanley Cups. I mean, you got to be kidding me.
The Rangers and Islanders played each other in playoffs, I believe, that following year, and the Rangers lost. So you have the Hollywood-type Rangers, you know. Hey, they weren't getting it done on the ice, but they could get it done on Madison Avenue.
There are athletes who look good in fashion ads and some athletes who don't. Duguay, look, he is a model who happened to play hockey. Espo in jeans. Not exactly sort of the image I think you're looking for. Even though it's Espo and he was a great player, Espo shoving his ass in the camera, that's not going to sell jeans.
If they want to wear lingerie, that's fine. Let them skate in bra and panties. You think people wouldn't show up?
I had all of those designer jeans. I had Sassoon, I had Jordache, I had Cloud, I had the brush in the back pocket. I was Sid Rosenberg from Brooklyn circa 1978, but I wanted to be Tony Manero. Saturday Night Fever, John Travolta. So to me, I thought those commercials at the time were really, really cool. Now, of course, Duguay looks back at that now, 3 decades later, he wants to kill himself.